And we begin with breaking news from Ken Paxton's impeachment trial in Austin, where in the past 30 minutes, the defense rested its case.
Yeah, at 5:34 to be exact. Jason Wheeler is live in Austin, where he's been watching this hearing firsthand. Jason, walk us through what's happening right now.
Okay, Chris and Izzy, first I'll explain the double earpieces here. With one of these, this is the one I always use to hear you all. This is another one that I have plugged into the live stream coming from the Senate floor, which is the court of impeachment, of course, right now, just in case they begin talking here in the next few minutes, because we're trying to get direction as to where things are headed from here. We know at this point that the prosecution has rested its case against Ken Paxton, and as you mentioned just about half an hour or so ago, the defense has also rested. Now we get to the point where we head to what's called rebuttals. And there's a lot of discussion there on the Senate floor right now. Again, these past 30 minutes or so, they basically stopped everything they were doing after the defense rested. And then everybody just sort of started chatting. The Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick, who is presiding over this court as the judge, has been conferring with his attorneys up there at the dais. And then he called the attorneys for both sides over just a few moments ago. Are they speaking here? Okay, doesn't sound like they are. And so he called over the attorneys from both sides just a few moments ago, and he's been conferring with them. I think what they, I don't want to, get in their heads here, but I think what they're trying to figure out at this point is, do we do this today? Because both sides have 60 minutes each to present what they call a rebuttal. Now, for people who are not familiar with court, the American Bar Association defines this as sort of your chance to come in and talk about things that the other side presented that you would like to follow up with. And according to the ABA, you can present witnesses and evidence in that rebuttal. Now, the question is, does that also apply to this trial? It's a whole different animal. This is a political trial. The Senate has set up its own rules for this, so we'll have to see what that looks like exactly. We believe that the prosecution would go first, followed by the defense, and again, they would each get 60 minutes for that. The question is, it's been a long day. It's been a long couple of weeks. These senators, may be willing to plow ahead and spend another 2 hours here this evening, go ahead and get these rebuttals out of the way, and then both sides have 60 minutes to make their closing arguments. We would presume that they would wait until tomorrow to do that. They may even want to get to that tonight, though. There's just a lot of unknowns right now, and I think that that's probably what they're trying to hammer out at this point. Now, as far as we understand it, both of these sides had 24 hours each to present their cases. You'll remember yesterday in this hour, we were talking about how the House managers, the prosecution essentially, had rested its case by mistake. That they hadn't planned to rest their case, but they said those words, it stuck, and so be it. At that point, we think they had about at this point, rather, we think that they had about an hour and a half left to be able to cross-examine witnesses, for example. The defense may have had 3.5 hours left by the end of this day. But again, both sides now clearing those time constraints out and getting ready for those 60-minute rebuttals. We're listening in here. We will see if we get some more guidance here in the next few minutes. I can tell you those senators have been seen on the floor there smiling when all of this wrapped up, and they've been talking in small groups. We will be sure to break in and update you with any further developments in this newscast. Chris and Izzy.
All right. Our thanks to Jason Wheeler with a good outline there. Rebuttals would come next, closing arguments after that, deliberations, and then the vote.
All right. As we move into closing arguments and deliberations, keep watching our digital coverage on WFAA Plus through Apple TV, Roku, and Fire TV. Tanya Iser and a team of legal experts are putting everything in perspective. You can also see their insightful analysis on WFAA.com and our YouTube channel, where we have seen thousands of you tuning in.